Oh hi, welcome Nikki Fence, and welcome to my crib. Let's take a tour.
Wow!
So let me take you back to the very beginning of the actual island. The entrance. The entrance, which does not exist, as you may notice. The reason is, I strapped everything I put down initially, just so I could make this build, because I really wanted to submit it for the Infinity Nikki build contest. This is the reality. Even my main house is just, lacking walls. But that's okay. That's okay. We'll get back to that. So what's supposed to happen is you have this nice entrance. It leads into my quote-unquote actual house. But then there's an nice little outdoor area. And then we take it up when we go up to my floating island, my floating house. Anyway, I just put a tree there. Just that there's something in there. It anchors it a little bit more. I also used the bushes to create little clouds, as you can see, which was an absolute pain in the ass to do, by the way. But anyway, let's get on with it. So many plants. Oh my god, I had to hide so many plants because I pretty much did so much overlapping here. I mean, the BB objects was on the whole damn time. I did some fun things here, actually, right off the bat. You can see that this is a table. It gives it a little area of its own. And I did the same with these little stepping stones. These are also tables. I was like, you know what? Why not? Why not? And so we have some whimsical stepping stones to match the rest of the house. Let's see. Another thing I did that was also pretty cool is I used the back of this bed, this giant bed, as I was like, you know what? I like this back. Let me use it, because it was kind of empty and boring in the back, so I was trying to do something with this big, tall wall to break it up, and so I did that, and I'll show you in a bit how I cover it. One of the elements is that stone wall. God, I love that stone wall. I'm gonna use it everywhere from now on. Yeah, see, like, it covered so many gaps, including the roof, which, oh my god, we're not gonna talk about. Roof snapping desires some work, so I'm sure it will get better with time, but for now I did whatever I could do without going insane. You can see here I did this little element. I got the little face bright statues here as well to kind of make it look like they're holding up this magical ball, and then unfortunately I couldn't make the globe bigger. I wish I could, but I couldn't. So I was trying to go for like a little bit of a, wow, this is like the astrology center, whatever, the astrological core of this island. And so that's what that is. And I just really wanted to use that lamp and put it upside down, and then that started the whole damn thing. Next, we're not gonna go around the house, actually, because there's nothing there. I ran out of things. I didn't have anything to build with anymore at this point. I put it all into just this. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make this one place on my island pop, and then we're gonna do the rest later, because there was ain't no way. So let's get into it. Let's see what else we can see. Oh right, one of the little touches I did at the very end is I added the little birds, the little paper cranes, as like little birds. I have one on the roof there, I have one on the floor here. I'm gonna like disperse them throughout the housing build a little later as well. And now let's go inside, because there's some fun clipping things I got going on here. That's for sure. So one is the stone wall, as you can see, comes in handy, and that right there is the bed. It's just hiding underneath the poof. It's great. And the bar and all of these other stone walls. It's awesome. And I love how this turned out. I'm actually going to use these stone walls on the inside of the builds a lot more, because it just looks so cool. It gives since we only really have like wallpapers for now, we don't really have like variety in terms of texture. So this is perfect, I say. If you want a stone wall, oh man, these are awesome to make those. Let's see. I did a lot of little things like that where I kind of used the existing items, but because of the ways that I placed them or flipped them, rotated them, sized them down and up, it just created a sort of a different piece of furniture decor. Like I made this little lamp from the vase, you know. I oh, this table is full of that stuff actually. Like I used, you know, this little end table as a, like extra little shelf as if it's a bureau desk, right? And then I used the lantern as like a little jewelry box. I just clipped it in. I used the little stool as as almost a drawing pad, you know, for Nikki to do her little sketches and whatnot. And then I put the balloons into the gramophone that came with the Stardew Valley collab. That board is just the upside down of the table. You can actually flip it around the other way as well and use it as that. Just some more interest on the walls, right? Because it's kind of obviously we only have a limited amount of paintings and decorations right now, so this is a great way to kind of play with that. Another thing I did is, oh my god, those boxes, the detective file box that we have, the underside of it actually was pretty cool, and I was like, boom, that's a collage on the wall right there. So that's what we did there. I got the owl painting clipped in, so it kind of looks like there's an owl sitting in the back of this wood shelf. And there's honestly so much you can do. Like I put a table as well. Again, I rotated one of the tea set tables, and I just put it on. You know, I just flipped it on the y-axis, and boom, bam, boom. We got ourselves a painting, and you can just probably use that as just that if you clip it through the wall. I just decided to use it there. Again, another use of the table. I just flipped it upside down, and I was like, boom, it's a shelf. Let's pretend it's a shelf, you know, and I put a bunch of stuff on it, and voila. Mainly because I needed something to attach the upside down lamp to, like the little planet lamp. So I figured, you know, why not? We have nothing else that I could use that as that I could use for that, so why not? Now let's talk about the ceiling. Don't ask. I gave up. I don't know what to do. We don't have the pieces that would fit into those gaps, right? Like, and clipping doesn't work. So I was like, okay, whatever. Like layering them over top each other just creates this a burst of energy inside the tiles that I don't need. So what I did is I put up a giant tree, and then I took this umbrella, I flipped it just to hide the chandelier. And actually that created a cool lighting effect because it really like soothed the lighting down, which I was like, you know what, happy accident, I'll take it. Because you can see here the light source is like this is how it looks without a light. This is how it looks with the light slightly shaded by the umbrella. So that's pretty cool. We don't talk about that wall. It's fine. I ran out of, listen, I didn't have dye, I didn't have money, I didn't have anything at this point because I didn't realize that I needed to max out my yardling purchases. I didn't know the tips and tricks that I'm about to tell you at the time, so I ran out of time and materials and resources and just everything. So let me tell you about those so that you don't run into the same thing I did. Let's go to Rosie. Let's talk to our girl. Okay, thing number one that I did not realize I needed to do is you need to shoot that little tree, that little bulb. You need to actually shoot it. Not shoot it, purify. I don't know, I said shoot it. We're playing Infinity Nikki, not GTA 5. I didn't know, okay? I was a fool. I didn't pay attention when maybe the game told me. I don't even know. I just didn't know. But now you know, and I know. So we're good. Now, Yardling purchases, very important. You have a weekly sales earnings limit, and you should max that shit out. And let me explain why and how. Why is because you need astrolites for anything and everything. You can buy furniture you don't have while building with it, as long as you can copy the piece that you already have placed. You can buy dye with it. You can buy expansions with it, so you need a lot of astrolites. So to get the most astrolites, you really do need to max out Posey's weekly sales earnings that she has. So to do that, my recommendation is step 1, expand to the max expansion possible as soon as you can, because you get so many landscaping materials from that. And you can sell them for such a good price. As you can see in the footage, 16k for a tree. Now, granted, that's from the very last part of the island that you expand. You get like 100 of those trees, and it's insane. It's so much money that you can just easily get. And even before you expand all the way to the end, you still get a lot of bushes and shrubs that also sell really, really well. And you get so many of them. And honestly, for, at first, I personally am a hoarder, so I would hoard all the materials. But in this case, I didn't even I was able to sell them because there are so many that you get and you can make them later down the line. And by the time you need that many bushes and shrubs, you would be able to make them through crafting. So I would say don't worry too much about that. If anything, you can buy them later. Next thing, the foundation and the flooring pieces. I would say, again, because you get so many of them, and unless you're just planning to make the biggest mention right off the bat, I would say you can afford to also just go ahead and sell them, because again, you can buy them later if you need to. But at first, if you're starting with a smaller build and you're tearing down everything anyway, just go ahead and sell, sell a few of them, because again, you get so many. And then same thing with the roof. At least some of the roofing tiles, I would say the ones you have the most, also just feel free to go ahead and yoink them. Another material you can afford to sell is this brilliant pearl, which you get from just, I think, just your small animals or big animals. I can't remember. But, as long as you expand to like level 3 or something of the animal ability, housing ability, you get a lot of them. And again, they sell pretty well considering how much you get. So I'd say, and you don't really need them in like general crafting. You just need them for like food crafting, for fish food and some other speed up materials, but you don't need them for like furniture as much. At least I haven't seen it. Speaking of your ability level ups, let's talk about the home abilities and the priorities, because I think it is pretty confusing at first, especially what you need for what. So we have 5 of them. As you know, construction, planting, star collection, fish keeping, and animal inviting. Now, I would say construction is definitely number 1 because that is where you get the island expansion. Number 2 would be planting, and then the rest are kind of in the equilibrium. You do need the fish keeping for crafting, so I would say that would be probably the next one, but also you do need star collecting, so it's kind of, the 3 of those are kind of, I feel like, on the equal. Now, for animal inviting specifically, you can get away with level 3 for a very long time. I did. You really don't need the higher levels until later in your construction levels, because you don't get anything out of the animal inviting until you expand construction to later levels where you get the items that will require the materials from the animal inviting, if that makes sense. So you would need construction levels first anyway before you even could use, the animal inviting. Next, for fishing, I would say try to get at least to level 4, just because you get the ability fusion, which makes it a lot faster for you to actually get the fish. So it's more of a quality of life. I would say just get it, just so you have your pond expansions, you have, enough space to actually do fishing, and then you also get the quality of life upgrade. Basically what happens is you just press R and you become Tiny Momo and you just snatch it. So you don't have to literally fish for the fish. You can just do that. So that's way faster. One other tip while we are here, feed your fish, especially once you unlock the fragrant fish food. It has a chance of increasing your yield, your catch. So definitely worth the 100 extra astrolites. You can craft this, but you can also just buy it. There is a limit. Ask me how I know. There is a weekly limit for this. So I would say, if you have astrolites, you can just max it out. Jumping around a little bit, but for planting, it's the same thing. The food increases the chance of yielding higher quality crops, and it also is like 100 astrolites for like the lowest one, and then it increases at the same rate as the fish food. And it is also worth it, I would say, especially if you need the rare quality plants. And there is also a weekly limit. So again, keep that in mind. And if you can, I'd say max it out. Why not, if you have the astrolites? Now, back to fishing. Level 5 gives you the lipstick fish, which you do need a lot of for some of the, again, later construction level sketches. But I'd say again, just kind of balance it out. Level up construction first. See what materials you need for the sketches that you really want to make, and then level up the fishing according to that. But at least get to level 4. Now, for star collecting, I would say you can get away with level 4 for a very long time, or level 5 preferably, because again, it gives you ability fusion, which is a good quality of life, because you can fish instead of like walking around and collecting the meteors, you can just fish them out 3 at a time. So that does speed it up a lot, especially when you're, when you can get like 9 of them or 10. It's much better that way. So if you can, get to level 5, but it's not the highest priority. You can get away with 3, I would say, for a very long time until you really want to expand. Now, again, planting is pretty much should be leveled up in parallel with constructions, because both of them are just that important. Planting, obviously, like the plants you need for constructing literally anything. Crafting any furniture piece, you're going to need some kind of a plant material. So make sure to have them go in parallel. I would say that would be the ideal. Especially level 3 for planting is really good, because you get the ability fusion, which makes it super fast for you to plant, which is really good. And then you do get the chime bloom seed at level 3, which you do need for like the basic building materials like walls and a lot of the other architectural elements and roofs and all that good stuff. Now, at level 5, you do get the Tinkle Tree seed, and that is actually a pretty cool one. Let me show you. With this tree, and actually all the other trees that you can plant, like the Mirrorland trees, you get an option at the end when you pick up the materials to transplant, and that just means that it goes into your inventory, and then you have trees that you can plant. So that's free landscape materials that you get from just planting ability. Which I love. I'm so glad that they did that. So definitely make sure to plant those, because I didn't realize that this was a thing. So I wasn't planting my trees early on. So don't be like me. And while we're here, let me show you that's the ability fusion that you get for planting. So as you can see, you just press R and it sprays around the seeds that you have. You can, it pretty much, there's no limit. You can just across all your fields, as long as you have the number of seeds that you need for the number of fields, you're good. You just spray them along. It's awesome. Now let's quickly touch on construction. Level 6 is where you pretty much get all the flexibility with building in Infinity Nikki. So by that point, by level 6, you already have got, you have the clipping, you have the free resize options, you get the rotation options, so you're able to do a lot more than you can at level 1. So make sure to, if you really want to build, get to level 6 as soon as possible. Bonus tip that I didn't realize, run Pearpal, you can't use that in your island to change the time of the day. I don't know why that didn't click until like weeks into it, and I was like, oh. And on that note, thank you so much for being here and watching until the end through my rambles and my little tips. I hope it was helpful. Now go out there, level up your construction, and flip those tables all around any which way you want, and explore and experiment and have fun with this update. I'm sure it will just keep getting better and better and growing, and I'm excited, and I hope so are you. All right, till the next time, Nickies.